Song of Iron, a game that recently came out on both Steam and Xbox, takes an interesting spin to the Norse mythology. You're gonna have to check it out for yourself to actually understand what I'm meaning by that phrase. The game starts off with your village being attacked by another clan. Seeing your people massacred, you go out on an adventure to ask the gods favor and assistance with getting the remainder of your people out. Song of Iron takes me back to the styles of games like Prince of Persia back on the Super Nintendo. I'm not saying it's dated because it has modern flair to that definitely hits you, sometimes with how it seems to combine multiple gaming mechanics into a game that would at first glance seem like it would just be a simple side scroller. Aside from some indie games this year, even though I was a little bit late to actually reviewing this and playing it myself, I didn't actually run into any bugs that other titles I've actually run into have. Oh, and did I actually mention that this was only developed by one person? It's like, how many times have we seen this? How many times have we seen a solo dev making something that I can consider a creation of art? This has been a bit of an interesting year with these indie creations we have gotten, and Song of Iron is another that will not disappoint. But I'm really hoping with an ending like what I've actually encountered in this game that we would actually get something more on the back end, something probably a little bit after or a second game to delve more into the story that we have been introduced to in this. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the mechanics in the game. Your basic attacks, just your fastest way to attack, swinging multiple hits. Your heavy attacks, sometimes able to stagger people with shields. Your rolls, your shield blocks. Your activated abilities, which, as you can see, that artifact right there is one of those activated abilities that you can actually use to enhance your weapon with fire damage. And also the stamina bar, which plays into multiple areas, including mostly combat and rolling, but also into climbing. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the weapons. You have your single-handed weapons and your dual-handed weapons, so your big two-handed weapons. You don't really have a big selection in there. It's mostly just swords and axes. You have, from what I remember, 1 to 2 different types of shields, both from the barbarians and creatures you'll get to investigate yourself a little bit later on. And then finally, you have your bow and arrows. I got the achievement for 50 kills for that one, but we're not going to go and discuss how terrible I am with the bow. It is in the game. It does take a little bit of practice to try and get anything going, but your enemies can block you. But you can go ahead and shoot them in the knee. So you can go ahead and let the Skyrim memes live on. As I discussed earlier, there are a number of artifacts in this game. I won't be getting into too many of them. There's mostly the forearm grip. That's one of them that actually lets you do fire enhancement to your weapons. And then there's an armor, which allows you for better stamina control, faster attacks, faster rolls, and faster recoveries. It pretty much just does a full over speed enhancement for your character. There are a few more, but I'd rather not discuss all of them, as pretty much getting to some of them is spoilers in the game. I will be completely honest though. I didn't expect this game to look the way it did. The more surprising thing is, even though it doesn't look character model wise, if you zoom into the character, it's not going to be the greatest looking thing ever. But I didn't expect the way of the game to look in the background. It's such an amazing looking environment. The game itself is just beautiful. I didn't expect the story to be the way it was. I didn't expect the story to be so good. I didn't expect pretty much a lot of what the game handed me. It's just an experience that I would highly recommend, that if you're interested in Norse mythology, but you don't expect it to be like accurate to Norse mythology, it's just going to be an interesting spin on it, I would say give it a shot. What you're watching here, getting pounded by nature. But to be completely honest, I'm glad I didn't expect these things. I wanted to be surprised by a game, and it's really hard these days to get this kind of surprise in a game at all. This game will run you between, depending on how good you are and how much of a completionist you are, and how much, pretty much how you can have everything rolling for you. It is going to be at least a 2 to 3 to 4 hour playthrough. $20, that's not too bad. It is still on my recommended list. This game definitely has a lot of playthrough potential. If you want to go for runs that are like fast, or if you want to go for runs that are no deaths, pretty much just like any Dark Souls game. You want to go ahead and go for speed, or you want to go ahead and go for no deaths. I know this is going to be a little bit of a short video, but this is definitely a game that I would play again. I would recommend again. It is definitely something that is worth your time and money to, and definitely just explore it, just to see what it's about, where it's going, and definitely to get through that plot twist. That is very much something I did not expect at all. Well, this is Sergeant Dan with After Action Review. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a wonderful one.